Good day, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ademola Badmos, and this is the second video of our cucumber series. If you've not seen the first video, please kindly see that. And if this is your first time, please do not forget to like and subscribe. More importantly, check the previous playlist on Java and Selenium to have a better understanding. Nonetheless, that doesn't mean that you won't be able to understand this, but you will not need to struggle to understand some concepts, as I've earlier explained them in the previous playlist for Java and Selenium. So in this video, we are going to just set up our Cucumber framework using Java. So we are going to use the Maven approach. We are going to install some Maven dependencies, and we are going to install some plugins on our favored ID, which is IntelliJ. I nearly said Eclipse. So let's get right to it. And just to mention, this is the site we are going to be using this time around. It would really suit our purpose. I used the same site when I was when I tried to when I actually did the video for Cypress on BDD. So it's a really pretty good example on the parts that we need to touch in Cucumber and BDD framework. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to launch my I'm going to launch my ID. You guessed right. Yeah, let's wait for it. Okay, so let's create a new project. Let's load the archetype, then we go next, and we go we get into where I've been making all the videos. As you can see, I've done on Cypress and I've done on Java. So let's start the one for Java BDD and get right into it. Okay, we open that now, and the artifacts has been created, the group ID and the artifact ID, so you need not to worry about that, and set it up and let it load all the projects. Yes, so we have this. So the next thing that we need to do is install our Maven dependencies. Now for this to work, we need 3 Maven dependencies. We will need the Cucumber Java, the Cucumber TestNG, and of course the Selenium framework to help us get the WebDriver Manager. Why do we need the Selenium framework? I've already explained that in the previous series, but I'll just mention it again. We need the Selenium dependency so we can have access to our WebDriver instance, and we need the Cucumber Java so that we can be able to run the Cucumber framework on with Java. And we are using the Cucumber TestNG. Not that a normal TestNG wouldn't work, but my approach to this is to use the best practice. Now, some of the best practices that you are going to do would merely show that you know what you're doing, as opposed to, oh, you're just doing everything that can work. Like you actually know what you're doing, and in the spirit of knowing what you're doing, it is more suitable for you and more convenient for you to use the Cucumber TestNG. Such the same way it will be more convenient, it will be more sensible for you to put your feature files in a resource folder than an ordinary directory when you're working. Not that both would not work, but it follows the best practice rules. It's just like your naming convention. It's like naming your class with a small, with a lowercase does not mean that your class will not work. But knowing the best practice and following the convention makes it gives the impression that you know what you're doing. So that being said, we are going to use the Cucumber TestNG as opposed to the TestNG dependency itself. So let's get right to it and copy these dependencies out. So the first one is going to be Selenium Java, of course, and we will search for it. Yeah, and we'll just probably pick the latest of it. Let's pick the latest one. I do not need comments, so I did not include this, so I excluded it because it is not serving any purpose. Just by clicking into this, it has copied it to the clipboard for me, so I can easily just go here And before I do anything, the first thing I would do here is create a dependencies tag. Why do I need a dependencies tag? So I can be able to put the rest of the dependencies I'm about to put in, so it would follow that structure. Okay, now at this point, if you're doing it newly, you should be seeing things like indexing right about here on your screen, but it is not doing like that for me, and maybe later on it won't be doing like that for you. But let me quickly explain that it isn't doing like that because IntelliJ as an IDE has already cached some of this project dependencies that I had used previously, so it has them in repository. But it doesn't mean that this will automatically work for you. In order for it to work for your project, I will do something that will make it work, and just follow me through. So the next one we need is like I said, Cucumber Java. So we sorry, I usually have private classes, so if you see the suggested ones, it's because I've been taking some people privately with it, so bear with me. So, and the next one is this is Cucumber Java. I do not need to put the comment like I said, so just clicking into it has copied it to clipboard for me, so I don't need to just copy start doing Control V or Control C and Control C as wherever it applies. So the next one, which is the last that we need, is the Cucumber test engine. Okay, as watch the ones I actually picked, because they're actually the ones that are most reliable for this particular purpose when it comes to Cucumber Java and Cucumber test engine. As you can see that there are variants of it, but the ones that is reliable, mostly reliable, is the one made by Cucumber itself. This I've never used it before, but my guess is someone has created this on the Maven repository and the person has been able to tweak it to do some other things, but I have never used it, so I used the one made by Cucumber itself. So we have that now, and we can have this, but this is not a guarantee that it will work for us because it has not even built into our project. So what we need to do is just come to the Maven board here and click reload all Maven projects. As you can see, it is resolving the dependencies, importing it just as expected. So while that is running, for Windows users, you can click File and click Settings. You get the same thing but for Mac users, you just need to click the IntelliJ label here to get to plugins. So I did mention that we will need 2 plugins. So let me quickly explain why we need these 2 plugins. The 2 plugins we will need, let me just mention them, is Gherkin and Cucumber for Java. Gherkin would allow us to be able to write Gherkin syntaxes using this IntelliJ plugin, IntelliJ IDE, pardon me. And the Cucumber for Java will let Java to be able to recognize the Cucumber syntax with the IntelliJ IDE. So let's just quickly get that. Gherkin, you install it, click on apply and click OK. Then I've already installed it, so there's no need for me to do that. And the next one is Cucumber for Java, which I've also installed. You do the same thing, click on install, click apply and click OK. And there you go, we have set up everything that we need. Thank you for getting this far. Do not forget to like and subscribe, and also click on the notification bell, as I'll be making more videos in the future about automation for web application, APIs, and mobile applications, God willing. So in the next video, we will be writing our first Gherkin syntax, and we would try as much as possible to explain the Gherkin syntaxes and how to make it more fluid when you're writing your Gherkin syntax, as opposed to making it look a bit less fluid, if there's any word like that. Thank you for getting this far with me. See you in the next video. Bye bye.